You've lost 2 houses this year so far to cash offers. You freeze, you keep renting, and you wait for the crash that the numbers say is not coming. This summer than last summer, prices went up. Let's go see the next one. You've got interest, you've got taxes. You've lost 2 houses this year so far to cash offers. You're still getting told to waive everything and just win. And somewhere in the back of your head, you're starting to think nothing in the Columbus market has actually changed, so why bother? I need you to hear me on this one. It changed. The Columbus housing market just handed buyers something it hasn't handed them in 3 years, and the whole thing comes down to 3 numbers. Learn these 3, and you'll know, before you write another offer here in Columbus, exactly how much room you've actually got to work with. And here's why this matters right now. This summer, if you misread this market, you hand back about $8,000 to the sellers. That is what a seller will pay to buy your rate down on the right house this summer, and you only get it if you know how to ask. Miss that, and you don't just overpay, you waive the wrong protection and call it being aggressive. Or you do the opposite, you freeze, you keep renting, and you wait for the crash that the numbers say is not coming. And you watch those prices tick up another year without you. Both of those are expensive mistakes, and both of them come from the same place, which is nobody actually sat you down and explained what these 3 numbers mean for you. So that's what I'm going to do. Again, 3 numbers, then one lesson at the end that ties them all together. And honestly, the lesson is the part that's going to change how you write your next offer. So number 1 is supply, and that's the big one. So stay with me. Right now, there are 5,223 homes for sale across Central Ohio, and that is up 8.2% from where we were a year ago. In plain terms, there are hundreds more homes in the market this summer than last summer. Now, 8% might not sound like a life-changing number when I say it out loud, so let me tell you what it actually does to your day-to-day as a buyer. When there are barely any homes for sale, which is exactly what we had in 2021, 2022, you have no power, none. You walk a house, there are 11 other offers behind you, and the agent basically tells you the price of admission is you give up everything. Give up your inspection, give up your appraisal contingency, escalate 30 grand over asking, and while you're at it, write the seller a love letter. That wasn't you being aggressive, that was you having zero leverage and doing whatever it took to just not lose again. More homes on the market flips that. When there are more choices, you get the one thing you never had, which is the ability to walk away. And the ability to walk away is where all of your negotiating power stems from, every bit of it. If you can look at a house and genuinely say, you know what, this one's not right, let's go see the next one. Then all of a sudden you can ask for things. You can ask for repairs. You can keep your inspection. You can ask the seller to help you with your closing costs. You couldn't do any of that 18 months ago, and now you can. And most buyers don't realize that that door had even opened. Now I want to be straight with you because I'm not going to oversell it. We're about 2 months supply. A truly balanced market where neither side has an edge is more like a 4 to 6 month supply. So we're not all the way to a buyer's market. We're in the middle, and the middle is moving in your direction a little. It's not a fire sale. It's leverage coming back slowly, quietly, while the headlines are still screaming about how impossible it is to buy a house. And if you're wondering why, it's mostly sellers. People who sat on their hands 2 or 3 years ago waiting for the perfect moment, and then the job changed, or the family grew, or the parent got sick. Life doesn't wait forever, so they finally list, and that's the door opening for you. The only question is whether you walk through it while it's open. Now, number 2, on this one, almost everybody gets backwards. So I need you to really hear this. The median sale price in Central Ohio right now is about $350,000, and it is up 4.3% from last year. Up. Prices went up. I know that's not what you wanted me to say. You've been waiting for me to tell you the bottom's falling out. It isn't. So let's kill that fantasy right now because it's costing people real money. And this is also not 2008. In 2008, you had garbage loans handed to people who couldn't pay them. And the whole thing collapsed under its own weight. That's not what's happening here. Today, you got buyers with real jobs, real down payments, real qualifications, and you got a region that keeps adding jobs. Intel being the headline, but not the only one. There's no crash mechanism sitting underneath this market. The people waiting for prices to fall apart so they can swoop in and steal something, now I say this with love, a lot of them are going to rent for another 5 years and watch the number they were waiting on just get further and further away. And I'm also going to be straight with you about what waiting actually costs, because I'm not going to hand you funny math. The median went up from about $335,000 last summer to $350,000 today. So the same house moved about 15 grand away from you in 12 months while you stood still. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that owning is free, because it isn't. You've got interest, you've got taxes. When the roof goes, that's yours too. But that $15,000 is the part that is 100% pure loss. That's just the house walking away from you. Run the total, not the monthly. So if prices are firm and even climbing, you might be sitting there going, well, then what changed, Adam? Why are you telling me that I have leverage now? Good question. Here's the answer. What changed is not the price. What changed is your positioning. The price on the house is holding, but your power inside the negotiation space went up. Those two things live in completely different places. You're not going to win by lowballing the price and waiting for the seller to panic. That's the old playbook. It didn't work then, and it doesn't work here. You win on terms. You win on the rate. You win on who pays for what. And I'll show you exactly how in a minute, but I'll plant this now. Firm prices and real buyer leverage can be true at the same time. And once you understand that, this whole market starts to make sense. I had a client a couple years ago. We actually started looking in 2023, and I can't remember. I think he took like 6 months or 9 months or something like that off, but he kept saying that he was going to wait for rates to come down. I'm going to wait for rates to come down. I'm going to wait for rates to come down. What he was actually saying is he wanted a $450,000 house for a $350,000 purchase price, but I'm going to wait for a crash. I'm going to wait for rates to come down. Well, they didn't come down, and he ended up coming back into the fold, and he bought a house for $380,000 this year. That same house, assuming appreciation in Pickerington, Ohio, has probably gone up by 10%, 15%, something like that over the last 2.5 years. Number 3, and this is the payoff. This is the number that ties the whole thing together. Homes right now are sitting an average of 29 days on market. That's 1 day longer than a year ago. I'll be honest, it's the most boring number ever I could possibly give you. It's an extra day. Who cares? But that average is hiding the single most important thing happening in the Columbus market this summer. Let's pull it apart. That 29 days is an average, and averages lie because they smash together things that are nothing alike. So here's what's actually going on underneath it. The market has lanes. It's not exactly a recent development. They've always been there, but when things cool a little bit, those lanes become a lot more apparent. Same city, same summer, depending on the house you're looking at, you could be in a completely different market moving at a completely different speed. Lane 1, clean, updated, move-in ready home, priced under $400,000. That house is still gone in days. Sometimes it still gets multiple offers. In that lane, it feels like 2022 never left, and if that's the house you want, you need to be ready to rock and roll. Financing lined up, agent on tap, because you got company. Lane 2, priced home, or a home priced over $600K, or really anything at that higher end. That's a slower, calmer market. Those homes are sitting weeks. The buyer in that lane has time, has room to think, has room to negotiate, and is in a completely different emotional position than the person fighting over a starter home. Lane 3, any home that needs work. Any price, dated kitchen, old roof, needs updating. These are sitting the longest, and they typically do, because today's buyer is stretched on the monthly payment already and doesn't have 20 grand laying around for renovations on top of it. So they scroll past and it sits. Look at Westerville. It's the perfect example. It's in my backyard, so I watch it closely. Nice homes in Westerville are averaging somewhere between 52 and 64 days on market right now. Meanwhile, clean, well-priced home under 400 in that same city is moving under a week. Same zip code, two completely different markets. That's what I mean by the market has lanes. So here's the lesson, and this is the thing I really want you to walk away with. The lesson is not, is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? That question's useless, now throw it out. The real question is, which lane is my price range and my house in? Because your lane decides everything. It decides whether you come in aggressive or you can be patient. It decides whether you're the one with leverage or the one competing. Get your lane right, play the correct hand. Get it wrong, and you bring a 2022 mindset to a 2026 lane and wonder why it's not working. So you've got two listings. I mentioned the one in Pickerington earlier where, I mean, from the second I got out of the car, I could smell a multiple offer situation. I knew this thing was going to go freaking bananas. And I had already done some research on where it was priced. It was priced at $369, which was low. We ended up buying it for $380. By the way, it appraised at $380. There was, I think, 15 or 20 showings that had already happened that day, and another like 26 showings that were scheduled over the weekend. This thing was going to go nuclear. We wrote a very, very strong offer based on the CMA that I put together that said the appraisal ceiling for this house is $380K. So we essentially wrote an offer for $10,100 over list on Friday around like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We kept our inspection. We waived the remedy period. Basically, we want to pop the hood, but we're not going to ask for any repairs. And the sellers accepted. So we managed to circumvent a bidding war in that situation. Same time, there's a house out in Hebron, Ohio, which is by Newark. That one was closer to $800K. Brand new in-ground pool, brand new composite deck going all the way around it, this awesome gazebo and a big like stone fireplace out there. It had a pole barn. It was sitting on like 4 acres. It was a badass house. And my buyers loved it. Like, they loved it. They were ready to go. And it's like, I get it. I know that you love the house, but we need to pump the brakes here. It's overpriced. Let it sit. They did not like that idea, but they trusted me. And after about a week, the agent calls me, I know that you guys like the house. Are you going to write an offer on it? And I said, I think we're a little far apart and we don't want to insult anybody, so we're just going to keep looking. And a little bit more time goes by, another week elapses, and the listing agent's calling me again, like, what's going on with this house? Why, or not the house, the buyers, like, why are you guys not writing an offer? And I said, again, I really don't think that we're aligned on price with your sellers, and we don't want to insult anybody, and I think your buyer is still out there. And in the meantime, my buyers are going nuts. Like, they're like, we want to get an offer in on this house. And I'm like, just pump the brakes a little bit. I promise I know what I'm doing. And that was on like a Friday, and the listing agent's calling me again Saturday, Sunday, we're thinking about doing a price reduction next week. What do you guys want to do? And I was like, well, just let it, go ahead and do it. Let us know how it goes. And then on Monday, I get another call, same situation. We're going to lower the price. Are you sure you guys don't want to put an offer in on this house? So we did. It was listed at almost $800K. We got it for $725. That's knowing the lane that we're in and executing based on that. So the house that's going to go multiple offers, we managed to circumvent that by giving the sellers exactly what they wanted. And we came in hard. We came in aggressive. We had it expire at midnight. The other opportunity out east, let's just be chill about this. Let's let them sweat a little bit. They have a house to sell. It's overpriced. It's way out in the middle of nowhere. Not a lot of people want to spend 4 or 5 hours on a weekend mowing all that. And, it's kind of a unique, specific property. So it was nerve-wracking, but I knew that we had time. So that's how we played it, because we knew which lane we were in. So, Adam, how do you figure out which lane you're actually in before I fall in love with the house and play the wrong hand? 3 quick questions you can answer while sitting on your couch tonight. Question 1, what's the price? Is it under 400K? Updated? Assume you're in the fast lane. Be ready. Competition is real. Up over 600K? You got a little time. You got some room to negotiate. Slow your breathing. Question 2, what kind of shape is it in? Move in ready pulls you towards the fast lane no matter the price. Needs work pulls you towards the slow lane. Hard, because most buyers today can't take on a project on top of the payment. Question 3, where is it? Because even inside one city, you've got micro lanes. A submarket like New Albany, where all that intel money and job growth is landing, behaves like its own little world. Demand there is holding prices up even while other pockets sit. Same region, different weather. If you can answer those 3, you'll know your lane, roughly. But here's the part I can't give you from my studio here. The lanes move by suburb, and they move every month. Under 400 in Westerville is not under 400 in Grove. And being one bracket off is the difference between asking a seller for a buy down and getting laughed at. So let's try to get practical here, because this is the part a lot of other agents don't tell their buyers. And it's the reason I made this whole freaking video. So let me get a little practical, because this is the part that a lot of other agents don't tell their buyers. And to be honest, it's kind of the reason I made this whole video. In the slower lanes, the home sitting 50, 60 days, that's where you ask for things. That's where the leverage from number one shows up as actual dollars in your pocket. And the single most valuable thing you can do right now is not ask for a price cut, it's ask for a rate buy down. What is a rate buy down? Here's how it works in real life. Rates are sitting around 6.3, 6.4 right now, but that's the sticker rate. That's the rate for the buyer who walks in, doesn't ask for anything. My buyers ask, because on a home that's been sitting, you can get the seller or builder to buy your rate down. On a 2-1 buy down, your first year you're paying like your rate is in the 4s, not in the 6s. So I feel like this is a good time to pause because I've mentioned rate buy down, rate buy down, rate buy down. And a lot of people don't actually know what that is. So as an example, you've got a 2-1 buy down. A 2-1 buy down, let's assume you've got the sticker rate, the standard rate. 6.4, 6.3, 6.4. So a 2-1 buy down, you get a credit from the seller. And I'll explain this in a little more detail. But instead of asking for $10,000 off, you ask for a $10,000 credit. And then you take that $10,000 credit and it basically pays off the interest in advance. So for the first year, if your rate is at 6.4% right now, standard qualifying rate, year 1, it would be 4.4. Year 2, it would be 5.4. Year 3, it would go back to 6.4. That's a rate buy down. And here's how it works in real life. Rates are sitting around 6.4, 6.3 right now. But that, again, is the sticker rate. That's the rate for the buyer that walks in and doesn't ask for anything. And my buyers ask, because on a home that's been sitting, you can get the seller or builder to buy your rate down. 2-1 buy down, year 1, you're paying your rate as if it's in the 4s, not the 6s. It's hundreds of dollars a month, real money, at the exact moment you're stroking checks for everything else. And the beautiful part, you're not the one paying for it. The seller funds it as a concession to get their home sold. On a $350,000 loan, the whole 2-year subsidy runs under $8,000, and it fits inside the concession caps. Concession caps depend on your loan type. So if you have an FHA loan, you can get up to 6% from the seller as a concession. So $300,000 house, you can get $18,000. A VA loan, you can get up to 4%, and a conventional loan, you can get 3%, so $9,000. It's plenty of money to buy your rate down. You can also, is hybridize it a word? You can do that. You can do like a hybrid. Let's say I can get $10,000 and I want to put $2,000 of it towards my closing costs so I can bring less cash to closing. And then I can take $8,000 of it and use it to buy my rate down. So now less cash at closing, cheaper monthly payment. Now, asking for a credit versus asking for less money on your sales price. So if you've got a $310,000 house and you ask for a $10,000 credit, you can do what I just described, where you can put a little bit towards your closing costs, put the rest towards your rate buy down, or you can put it all towards your rate buy down or all towards your closing costs, or however you want to do it. If you have a $310,000 house and you offer them $300,000 and they accept it, that $10,000 that you just lopped off your sales price barely changes your monthly payment at all. Like barely. We're talking 20, 30 bucks. Don't quote me on that. I'm just riffing right now. But that's not too far off. Any loan officer will tell you I'm pretty spot on here. What does that $10,000 actually do for you over 30 years? Like compared to hundreds of dollars a month. On the other hand, or actually on the same hand, any halfway decent lender is going to offer a free refinance. So if you're the betting type, if nothing else, you can still save money on year 2, year 1, or I'm sorry, this year, next year, and the following year, your rate goes back to the qualifying rate. But if you want to hedge your bets a little bit, you can assume that rates will drop from 6.4. Now, the Fed has said that they're not going to lower them. Like, just tuck in, get used to it. These are here to stay. But I think that we can see rates in the 4s again. I don't know exactly how. I think that if there was less conflict in the world and the cost of money wasn't so high and the cost of goods weren't so high and the cost of oil wasn't so high, interest rates will come down. So the more conflict, the more expensive things get, higher your interest rate. Interest rate is tied to the cost of everything. So if everything's more expensive, so is your rate. If rates do come down, then you get a free refinance from your lender. Any halfway decent lender, as I said, offers a free refinance. I know my guy Taylor at Revolution Mortgage would love to have this conversation with you. But in the end, a buy down saves you far more money than just asking for $10,000 off your purchase price. So all that being said, you really don't even need to take my word for any of this. So here are the actual numbers so you can check me. Region-wide, 5,223 homes for sale, up 8.2%. About a 2-month supply. Median sales price, $350,000, up 4.3%. 29 days on market on average, and remember that average is hiding lanes. Westerville specifically, average home value sitting around $411,000, still up 1.7%. And those homes averaging 52 to 64 days to sell. Over in New Albany, where everybody's watching the intel money come in, the list price median is holding around $502,900 on that demand. So let's bring it home. 3 numbers. Supply is up, which means you have choices, which means you have power. Prices are firm, which means this isn't a crash, so stop waiting for one. And that boring little 29-day average is hiding the whole truth, which is the market has lanes, and your lane decides how you play. Go back to that person I described at the start, the one who's lost 2 houses and thinks nothing's changed. If that's you, you were playing in a lane that isn't yours with a mindset that expired 2 years ago, and that's fixable. That's actually the easiest thing in the world to fix once you know which lane you're in. So here's what I want you to do right now. Drop your price range and the suburb you're shopping at in the comments. I'll put the real days on market for the exact bracket and that exact suburb and tell you whether sellers are actually funding buy downs right now. That is the number that decides what you're allowed to ask for, and it's not on Zillow. If you'd rather talk it through directly, again, I'm Adam Guy, Realtor, Next Home Experience. My number's in the description of this video, and it's going to be right here on this screen. Don't bring a 22 mindset to a 2026 market. Let's get you in the right lane. I'll see you on the next one.